Hello, my name is Kevin Binder. I graduated from the University of Michigan, class of 2013, majored in psychology and international studies, and my current job is I work as a brand journalist slash writer for Torrent Consulting in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So I chose to major in psychology because I've always been fascinated by the human mind, what makes people tick. I think there's a lot that goes on up here that we don't always say or reveal, and sometimes we don't even really know it ourselves. And I've always tried to be a pretty introspective person because I've always tried to figure out how I'm wired and stuff like that. So that really led me to try to figure that out in a more academic way when I was at the University of Michigan. My career path has been pretty far from typical. I've only been out of college for about 5 years, but in that time I've worked in Turkey doing a Fulbright for English teaching. I've also worked for a consulting firm in Evanston, Illinois, doing marketing analytics. Then I moved up here to do consulting with my current company, which is more tech-based consulting. And now I've moved to a marketing slash writing role with the same company. So in 5 years, I've kind of run the gamut of a lot of different things to do. But I do think that psychology has definitely influenced where I've gone and how I've done in those roles in every single one of them because, for example, when I was a teacher, the whole thing that drove me to teach in Turkey was my fascination with other cultures, and that's in part tied to how cultures affect the way that we think. So that led me to spend a year in Turkey, and I think my approach to psychology really helped me when I was teaching because it helped me connect with my students better. Then when I got back to the United States and I was trying to find an actual, office job slash career, I was drawn to marketing because it's really where psychology meets business. It's trying to understand what influences consumers, why they act in a certain way, and how you can potentially motivate them to take certain actions. In my current role, where I'm, again, on a marketing side and also writing, psychology comes into play again because of all the reasons I just mentioned. I guess I would say, though, that across everything, the one piece of advice I would give is to keep your eyes open and keep looking to the side in every single case. And what I mean by that is, I think there's a tendency for a lot of people when they get into their first job or whatever, they get into their job and then they look straight up. They say, okay, I'm in this role. If I do well, I'm going to get promoted, I'm going to get promoted, I'm going to get promoted, I'm going to get promoted. Or how can I go from this role into that role, into that role, into that role? The goal is to go up. But I think it's kind of a fact of life these days that the first job you get may not necessarily be your ideal job, your dream job. And there's often a sense of trying to figure out what you really want to do, even once you get that first job, etc. I mean, part of me wishes that I had known earlier that I really wanted to be a writer because that would make it a lot easier for me to, A, get into this role right out of college instead of when I'm 28. And also right now I'm applying for creative writing programs, and I'm in a spot where I'm actually wishing that I took more writing courses in college because I didn't realize that I wanted to be a writer at the time. But, hindsight's 2020, and honestly, I don't have too many regrets about the way that I did it. But I think, again, my advice for keeping your eyes open and being flexible in your work and your approach to work definitely stands there. I really like Michigan because I wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for Michigan. And I really like where I am right now. I work in Ann Arbor, and the reason I work in Ann Arbor is because I have and had ties to Ann Arbor based on my Michigan days. The whole reason I went to Turkey is based on a program that I did through Michigan where I did a summer internship in Turkey after my sophomore year. I had no experience with that country before that point, and it's only through a Michigan program that I went there for the first time, fell in love with it, and that really opened a lot of doors for me in terms of being able to go back. So I think, based on how my life has gone since Michigan, I have absolutely no complaints, and I can only thank the University of Michigan for that.